This movie's fucked up. Of course, the movie I'm talking about is ABCs of Death. But it's a interesting movie anyway. But if you don't know, ABCs of Death is an anthology film where every letter has its own short story. And I think it's a very unique idea that it could be just great anthology. But I didn't like some of these, a few of these, but there were plenty of good ones. But what I'm gonna do is for each letter I'm gonna talk about each story, and I'll do the same thing with ABCs of Death 2. But ABCs of Death 1, I didn't hear about it uh, when it came out until a friend of mine told me about it and recommended it to me. Shout out to you, Johnny Alpha. And I thought, okay, it's interesting premise, ABC's Death. And overall, I did like the movie, but it's not. It's really fucked up though. But I'm gonna start with each story. So, letter A, pretty much was kind of it was an apocalypse, and you see a woman kill her husband. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I don't remember everything that happens in A, but I remember I liked it. It was kind of cool. Like, you just see him in bed and she attacks him, from what I remember. I thought that was a cool way to start off. And every time a story ends, you see the title of that story and the I think the director. Yeah, the name of the director. Which I won't remember everybody's name who directed this for each story. So anyway, A was an interesting way to start. B was it was a Spanish short story where the babysitter tells a story about Bigfoot, scares I think it was I think it was a little boy or a child. I was just say child, and then while that's going on, you actually see that there is a Bigfoot outside the house, and then the babysitter and her boyfriend get attacked by the Bigfoot, and the child finds out the Bigfoot's actually real, even though the babysitter was making it up. And I thought that I liked that one. That was good. C was cycle, in which a guy has another version of himself, and they keep attacking each other. And I thought that was interesting. I liked that one. That was pretty good. D, dogfight, which was one of my favorites of the first movie, where you see a guy fight a dog, but it's all done slow motion. I really like how that was done. E was about a guy trying to exterminate a spider that keeps kind of like stalking him in his house. I thought that was very interesting. I like that one. So far so good. And then you get to F, which was really retarded. It was just about a bunch of Asian schoolgirls who farting each other. That was retarded. It was stupid. G, gravity. It was like I thought it was just pointless, and you see the point of view of a guy who's just walking around and he goes surfing and he drowns. Because of the gravity. And just like that was dumb. H was very fucking weird, where you see like humanoid dog man. He's like seen like an erotic show where you get this woman who's like a fox, like the animal fox. I'm not saying she's a fox, but I am seeing that. But what I'm trying to say is like they're animals, and then she like tortures him, and like in a weird way or something. It's just a weird, bizarre one. And before I go on, this movie is kind of like all over the place. All the stories are very different, which is something that ABC's Death 2 got right. They all kind of feel the same. They're not that far apart in tone and stuff like that. This is kind of all over the place. But I didn't really like H. I think I didn't really like this one either. I mean, you just see a woman being tortured, and she's just narrating, and she gets killed, and it was just stupid. I didn't really like it. J was kind of funny. You see a samurai. He's trying to, you know how they had that ritual where they commit suicide in honor, and he's like making funny faces, like, you know. I thought that was kind of funny. K was an animated short where you see it's like stop motion, like clay. Which I like. I actually kind of like that animation. I always found that interesting. Where you have this woman trying to go to the bathroom, and then when she's done, her actual fucking poop comes alive and doesn't want to get flushed. She's trying to flush it. It doesn't want. I thought that was funny. And you get to L, which I could probably my friend again. Shout out to you, Johnny Alpha. He's probably laughing. He's gonna be laughing when I'm talking about this because he warned me about this story, but I still had no fucking idea. It was gonna be one of the fucking nastiest things I've ever seen in my life. But if you haven't seen the movie and let's say you have a weak stomach for these kind of things, I would just say skip it. But if you're that curious, warning, because I'm gonna spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. Just as a warning. Pretty much L is about like it's like this underground cult thing where they tie two guys at once, and then they're performing like erotic things in front of them. Like you see a naked woman or two women making out, and or two women fucking and stuff like that, and they have to jerk off, and whoever comes first lives, and who doesn't gets killed. And they have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And then there's a point where I guess the main character of the story, he's like come like 16 times or 15 times or whatever, and he's exhausted. And then I'll just say he sees a rape going on. He doesn't come. This fucking wacko next to him comes, and then he gets killed by a chainsaw. But while a girl's fucking him, like I left a little bit out, which I think is the fucked up part, the most fucked up part about. I'm just getting sick of talking about this. I hated this one, as you can tell. Fucking disgusting shit. M, which pretty much like, which kind of like a downbeat, very downbeat. When this girl has a miscarriage in the toilet, like that's it. And then N, it got better. N, was a kind of funny one where you see an Asian couple. The guy wants to propose to her, and he buys her a parrot. Or he's had this parrot for a while, and then all of a sudden he starts talking, and he starts mimicking the guy having sex, like, oh yeah, yeah, give it to me, and the girl finds out that he was cheating on her, and then she kills him. I thought that was pretty funny how the bird was imitating two people having sex. And you get O, which pretty much like an artsy kind of story where you just see a woman having orgasms. That's the title, orgasm, and I like the way it was done. It's interesting. Um, and then letter P uh, was I didn't like this one either. It's just a woman who needs to feed her children, and the only way she can get money is just kill cats. Like, really, I didn't like that one. Q was for Q was kind of like a satire in the whole thing, and the whole ABC's Death thing, where you actually see the directors who got the letter Q when they can't figure out what to do, what kind of story to do with the letter Q, and they decide to get a duck and kill it or something. But it wasn't just they didn't just. I think they killed the duck. But you know, Q is for quack duck. But like the whole time they don't know what to do, what kind of story to do, so they kind of do some random things, which I thought was kind of funny. Letter R was from what I remember, it was a guy who gets his skin removed. I think his entire skin removed. And he's being filmed, I believe. I don't know, something about it. Like I thought was interesting and unique. But and ironically, it was directed by the guy who did a Serbian film. Which is weird because I figured he did letter L, but I'll leave it at that. Letter S. I don't know, I thought it was okay. This is one of the ones where I didn't really like it or I didn't hate it. I was just kind of like about it. Where you see I think a woman. She's being chased in the desert, or there's a bunch of people, and then she's just having a hallucination because she's ODing on the drugs. I thought it was like whatever. Letter T, I like this one. Another animated, again, stop motion, clay. I always call it clay animation. Where a kid's afraid of the toilet because it comes alive. And of course, he doesn't want to go to the bathroom, and then the dad is trying to convince him it's okay, and then the toilet eats him. Yeah, I thought it was funny how the way it's animated. And letter U, you see the point of view of a vampire, the girl who's a vampire, and and you see the townspeople kill her. I think the way it was done was better than letter G, which is also a kind of point of view thing. But this one I thought was done way better. Letter V. I didn't really care for this one much. Where you see like in the futuristic world, where women can't get pregnant or something like that, and I didn't care for this one. W. This was one of the weirdest one, but in a good way though, where you see John Schnapp from AMC. Shout out to AMC, and the director of the Death of Superman Lives, where he gets W, and again they do the whole thing where he doesn't know what to do, what kind of story to do, so he just does like random things, weird things, and the title of the short is WTF. That was kind of funny. Letter X is, I thought, just depressing one where this fat girl's ashamed of herself and she just cuts herself so she can lose weight and she dies. I'm like, because everyone's making fun of her. I'm like, that was shitty. Y, the letter Y, was a kind of funny one where, and kind of gross too, but where this old pedophile was stalking this kid. He wants to molest him, and there's a scene where like the kid's playing basketball. His sweat is all over the floor. He leaves, and the old guy actually licks his sweat. Like, what the fuck? But he gets to come up and the kid cuts his head off and uses it as basketball and shoots his head and enters the hoop. And I thought that was kind of a funny image. And then the last one, Letter Z, was just kind of like completely out there, where you have a bunch of Japanese Nazis and these two Japanese girls are fighting each other naked, and one of them has the giant penis, and it's like crazy shit. And that's the way it ends with the Letter Z. Japanese Nazi girls fighting with a giant dick. So overall, I did like the ABC's Death, even though I didn't like a few of these. And most of them are very different from each other. But I thought it was unique. It's a very unique film where you get 26 different stories. Most of them work, some of them don't, but I hope they keep making more. And even though you're never gonna like all of them, but I liked most of these. A, B, C, D, E I liked. J, K I liked. N, O, Q, R, T, U, and W, and Y. I like those. Z, I could say, the last one, it was entertaining. It was fucking ridiculous, but I'll say I like that one too. But I didn't like F, G, H, I, L, I fucking hated. M, P, S was okay. V, and X I didn't like. But that's more likes than dislikes of the letters, of the stories. But if you haven't seen this movie, I do recommend it. It's fucked up. But I would say, like, beware of L. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's I think you would like it. I think most people who are into these like independent horror films would like this movie if you haven't seen it. But thanks for watching. Next up is ABC's of Death 2, which in some ways I'll say, well, I'll get to that, but it was more consistent, I'll say that. But thanks for watching. Adios.